Want to buy a house in the greater Lansing, Michigan area? Well, you're gonna need to make money in order to afford a house. In this video, I'm gonna be talking with you about how much money you need to make to be able to afford a house. There are different philosophies there, so I'm gonna be talking about those. Also, I'm going to be going through 5 different income levels that are gonna show you how much money you need to make to be able to afford a certain kind of house. And be sure to stay tuned until the end because I will show you how much of a house you can afford at a median income in Lansing. So let's get started with this next episode of Lansing, Michigan Life right now. Hey everybody, Troy Seifert here with the Capital Area Real Estate Specialist in the greater Lansing, Michigan area. I'm a top producing realtor in the greater Lansing, Michigan area, and I help people all the time who are just like you, who are looking to potentially move here to greater Lansing, Michigan. So whether you're looking to move here in 9 days, 90 days, or 9 months from now, I would love to be able to talk with you about your real estate goals, when you're potentially looking to move here. All my contact information, it's in the description below. Call me, text me, email me, or schedule a Zoom call with me. There's a calendar link that you can schedule a Zoom, then we can talk face to face. That's what I prefer the most. Also, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel or give a thumbs up if you like the content of this video, which I'm sure many of you out there who love data are gonna love this video because I'm gonna throw at you a bunch of data, but also this is just a very practical video for you to be able to understand, hey, if I make a certain amount of money, this is how much of a house I can afford. And I kind of give you some of the numbers here that I've computed and come up with. So before I get into the numbers, I think I stated earlier in the video, there are different philosophies of how much money you need to make in order to afford a certain kind of house. So for instance, Dave Ramsey, he's a huge influencer when it comes to financial planning. And he tells people as well, like, hey, this is how much money you should make in order to be able to afford a house. His philosophy is that your monthly mortgage payment should not exceed 25% of your income. This philosophy has been around for years, and when he initially made this philosophy, this was before housing prices just skyrocketed. And I'm a Ramsey Trusted Pro. I don't know if you knew that. I work with people who follow Dave Ramsey when they're looking to move here to the area, buy a house, sell a house. I've taken all the courses of Dave Ramsey, so there's a lot of good that Dave Ramsey does, but this is one thing that I feel is kind of unrealistic. I recently had a client from Dave Ramsey's program and they were referred to me, their first time buying a house. And so when you hear these principles, you're like, hey, I feel like I'm doing something wrong if I'm not listening to what Dave told me to do. So they were looking for homes. And then when they finally found the home they wanted, they realized, wow, I'm spending more on a house than what I wanted to. When in all actuality, they could afford it. They got pre-approved through a loan officer. It's just they were trying to follow that 25% of your income to a T. And when I've spoken with loan officers in the area, they say tons of people cannot abide by that 25% rule. You know, unless they're making an exorbitant amount of money and they don't care what type of house they want. But like if people are looking for maybe their first home or they're looking to potentially just go for a middle of the road home, you are not gonna find a lot of people who are going to be able to afford a home at 25% of your income in today's market. So that's one school of thought. Some of you might believe that you only wanna spend 25% and that's totally fine. I'm just kind of giving you the reality. Then there's the other school of thought of, hey, well, I got a pre-approval for this much money and this is great. If I'm pre-approved for this, awesome. And they don't pay attention to the monthly mortgage payment. So I have had loan officers tell me that some people are getting homes at 45% of what their income is. And what loan officers tell people is, hey, if you're at 45% of your income, you might be eating ramen, really having to watch your checkbook or your bank account because it's gonna be tough. And I would tend to agree with that. If you're at 45% just for your mortgage payment, you got things like utilities, you got things like maintenance, you have kids, you have expenses for kids, you wanna go on vacations, you're not gonna have a lot of money to be able to spend. In fact, you could be house poor at 45% of your income. So again, like that's another philosophy that you wanna get into a house and you wanna live in there, that's great. And if you feel like you're okay with really having to watch your pennies, that is fine too because you really wanted that house. But there are some downfalls. Even with the 25% that I said that Dave Ramsey tells people, there are some pitfalls to that too. Just like how it is in life all the time, there's always a good in between, okay? So I'd like to kind of go in between that. And so 33% is what I personally believe is a realistic number to where you're finding an adequate house, you're not going house poor. And so I created an entire chart here where I'm breaking down 5 different income types. I'm going to start with the highest amount. The reason I'm doing that is because I want you guys to see all the price points that starting at the highest, and then we're gonna go to the median so you have an idea, hey, if I was maybe offered this much money to move here, am I gonna be in good shape? What kind of house can I afford? So I really feel like this is gonna be a really good informational video for you, because in this, I take the entire mortgage payment that includes taxes and insurance as well. And so I give you the rough estimate of like average property taxes and what the homeowner's insurance would look like. So I combine all of those. And then also I give you a maximum loan amount. So that maximum loan amount, it's going to differ depending on how much money you want to put down. A lot of people want to put 20% down. I've had people move here from a different state where it's more expensive, and they do a recast where they're like, I made so much in equity towards here that when I move over here to Michigan, I'm just going to take all that equity and put it towards this house. And so you might have way more than 20% down. Okay, so these figures might differ according to like what your financial situation is, number one. Number two, the other thing I want to point out, this is based off of a 6.5% interest rate. Really, this past year, interest rates have been just below 7%, and they have started flirting with the low 6s. So 6.5% is right there in the middle. So by the time you watch this video, if interest rates have gone lower, then you can maybe afford a little bit more of a house. If they've gone higher, then take caution with the figures I give you, because you might not be able to afford that much of a house. So keep that in mind as I'm going over these figures. So I'm gonna start with the first one here at $500,000. If you're moving here and you were offered $500,000 to be able to move to the greater Lansing, Michigan area, your gross monthly income will be roughly just shy of $42,000 a month. And so if we take that 33% rule for your mortgage payment, that means your monthly payment cap is going to be $13,750 a month. Okay, so when I computed this, $13,750 a month is the tip top if you only want to spend a third of your income. Estimated monthly taxes for something like this in Michigan, just to let you be aware, like I have videos all about property taxes and they are higher here in Michigan. Your average monthly taxes would be around $3,500 a month, and your estimated monthly insurance would be around $300 a month. So take that $13,750, take away $3,800, and you're roughly at about $10,000 a month in your principal and interest. Am I hurting any of your heads yet? Those of you who love math, you're like, I'm loving this. Those of you who hate math are probably going, like I hate this right now. Like, I am more of a math guy, but I know a lot of this data can be confusing, but it's not gonna be overwhelming to you. I'm really trying to make this as simple as possible so you understand. If you're making $500,000, your maximum loan at the 33% would be a $1.5 million loan, just shy of that. That's what your maximum loan amount could be. So if you wanna follow 20% down, which is what a lot of people want to do, you're going to be at $1.86 million for a home that you can afford in the greater Lansing area if you only want to spend a third of your income on a mortgage payment. Hopefully this is making sense for all the rest of them, and you'll kind of understand now how this chart is going. Now, you could put 10% down, and I'm gonna say this with each and every one, like the lower we go in the income, the more that you can maybe give less down. Now, this is more of a jumbo loan, so I don't think that you can go less than 20%, honestly. Talk with a loan officer, I could be wrong. Again, I'm not a loan officer, but when you get to like these jumbo loans of, that goes above what some of these government funded loans go, I'm thinking you gotta at least have 20% down, okay? But these other loans I'm gonna get to, when we start getting to where we're getting down to the maximums of what government funded loans could be, you might be able to give a little bit less, but you have to include a private mortgage insurance, what's known as PMI. And with that, you're paying extra monthly on that. So that's why a lot of people like to give 20% down, because they avoid that PMI or private mortgage insurance on their monthly payment. But for this one, you probably won't have to worry about that. $1.86 million. What could that get for you in Lansing? There are a handful of homes that sell for that much money here in Greater Lansing, if I'm being honest. So those of you who make this much, you might be able to afford a really nice home at a significantly cheaper price than what you would have expected in California or in Florida or in Washington. So, some of these states where the cost of living is a lot higher, you might be able to find a really, really, really nice home at a lesser price than this and still be in great shape. Next income level I want to go at is $200,000. If your income level is $200,000 for the year, it means your gross monthly income is going to be just shy of $17,000 a month. Your maximum monthly mortgage payment would be $5,500 a month at a $200,000 income. At this, your estimated monthly taxes at this price would be $1,400 a month. Your estimated monthly insurance would be around $250 a month, so around $1,650 of that are your taxes and insurance. Just shy of $4,000 is what you're going to want your principal and your interest to be. When calculating this, your maximum loan amount would be around $600,000 or $597,000 to be exact for your maximum loan amount. And if you put 20% down, that makes your maximum house price at just shy of $750,000, so $746,000. There are a lot of really nice homes that you could get at $746,000 in the greater Lansing, Michigan area. If you're looking at Okemos, DeWitt, even Grand Ledge, some of the very popular suburbs, that average price point is $400,000, but if you're wanting to get in a neighborhood where there's some newer builds, some larger homes, you could get a decent house for this price and still be able to live comfortably because you're not going to that 45%. And I mean, maybe for some of you, it might be 25% of your income. Those of you who might be making $200,000, you follow Dave Ramsey, you're like, I totally agree with that. And that's great. You know, if you buy maybe a house that you love at $500,000, you might be able to afford a really nice house for $500,000 or $550,000. It might go less than this. But again, if you only have 10% down, the maximum amount would be around $657,000 that you would be able to afford. Okay, but I'm kind of giving you the 20% down, just assuming that you're going to give 20% down to avoid that private mortgage insurance that I talked about earlier. Right, next income bracket, I went from $500,000 to $200,000. Now I'm going a little bit closer, okay? There's not gonna be a $300,000 gap this time. So the next income bracket is $150,000, okay? If you're making $150,000 in the greater Lansing, Michigan area, your gross monthly income, $12,500. Your maximum mortgage payment would be $4,125. That's if you abide by the 33% philosophy that I've been talking about all throughout here. Your estimated monthly taxes would be a little over $1,000 a month. So around $12,000 for the year. And this does kind of line up with when I've been talking about property taxes. You know, it might be a little bit more if you live in Meridian Township, that would be Okemos, East Lansing, Williamson, or Mason City has higher tax millages. Some of the country properties that are out there, the property taxes might be less. So again, these are all estimates, but just kind of worst case scenario estimates. And then your estimated monthly homeowner's insurance would be around $200 a month. Roughly $2,900 a month is what you want your principal and your interest payment to be alone. So if we were to take that, your maximum loan amount would be $448,000 house, which then if you take 20% down from that, then your maximum home price would be $559,000 if you put 20% down. Okay, so there are again some pros to putting 20% down. You might have an appraisal waiver. Some places are doing appraisal waivers as low as 10% down, which could give you an advantage if you were in a competitive offer situation. But again, you know, if every person's financial story is different. You might only want to put 10% down because you might have better investments here, or you might want to put your money here or there, okay? This again is just assuming you're going to put 20% down. You can afford a really nice house again if you make $150,000 at $559,000. Plenty of homes in Okemos, DeWitt, but the home prices do continue to go higher and higher and higher in our area. So that affordability continues to be less and less and less of what you can afford, just to give you a heads up. But at $559,000, you can afford a decent house and only give up a third of your income as well, so that you could still feel like you're living comfortably. Okay, the next income level I want to go to is $100,000. If you're making six figures here, and again, this is the household income. So there could be one of you, there could be two of you, there could be several of you. I don't know if I made that clear, but this would be your household income, whatever your household is making. Now, $100,000, if your household is making that much, your gross monthly income is $8,300, just over that. And so your maximum mortgage payment, if you again want to abide by the 33% philosophy, is $2,750 a month for your monthly mortgage payment, including everything. Out of that $2,750, $702 would be your monthly property taxes estimated, and then your estimated monthly insurance would be $185 a month. So then you would want around $1,900 a month to be your principal and your interest. So at $100,000, Your maximum loan amount would be just shy of $300,000, $298,000. And then your home price with 20% down would be $373,000. In that price range, maybe in Delta Township, you might be able to get a decent sized middle of the road home. Holt, I feel like you would be able to get a decent sized home in Holt, Michigan. The taxes are kind of high in that area as well too. Again, you have to kind of add all the different areas and see what the property taxes are, because it can fluctuate, and then you might be able to afford a little bit more of a purchase price of a home if the taxes are less. So keep that in mind. All right, and the last one, like I told you, this is gonna be the final one. The median income in Lansing. If you are offered this much to be able to come move here, and this is your household income, the median income right now in Lansing at the end of 2025 is just over $55,000 a year. Just a little bit over $55,000 a year. That means your gross monthly income would be $4,600 a month. We take the principal, interest, taxes, and insurance maximum payment. That means that would have to be a little over $1,500 a month. For those of you who are watching this, you're like, that's how much I pay in rent? I probably pay more in rent, right? So when we talk about, hey, should I rent or should I buy? This will give you a good idea if it's gonna be smarter for you to rent or buy. The estimated monthly taxes for this would be just shy of $390 a month. Estimated monthly insurance, around $115 a month. So then that takes your principal and interest payment like just over $1,000 a month. So the maximum loan amount would be $165,000 for your maximum loan amount. So if you put 20% down, you could afford a purchase price home of $206,000. Now let me tell you right now, the median home price in the greater Lansing, Michigan area as of right now is around $240,000. So you are below that median price, that average purchase price. So you might have a house at this purchase price that might need a little bit of work. This also includes condos as well, and that's not included in this payment. So if you wanted a condo, you might be able to afford, even less than this. But that's just something that you have to keep in mind. And that's why, with interest payment, that's why it's so important when they go down, your affordability does go up, right? But you just have to keep that in mind. So if you only have 3% down, which there are some loans for first-time home buyers, they're like, get this for 3% down. I mean, you'll have to pay that property mortgage insurance, right? So that's around $5,000 that you would give down. So your maximum house that you could get at making $55,000 a year, that's again, the median income in Lansing, would be around $170,000 purchase price. And with living in this market day in, day out, you're gonna need to be handy to find a house like this, okay? I'm just keeping it real with you. And again, as time goes on, that price is just going to, the home prices are just gonna continue to go up and go up and go up. When spring comes, that's a very hot price point. Anything from $150 to $250 right now, it's flying off the market because people are just trying to get into a house. So again, I'm trying to keep it real with you to kind of let you know, hey, yes, you make the median income, but this is the reality of this. So this is the end of all the different income levels. I hope that this is really beneficial for you. If you want something more in depth, if you're like, hey, Troy, do you have that chart that you could show me? Feel free to email me, call me, text me, schedule a Zoom so we can discuss your real estate goals. I would be more than happy to do that. And again, all my contact information, it's in the description below. Also, if you like this content, give me a thumbs up, please. And subscribe to my channel because we have new episodes going live once or twice a week. You're not gonna wanna miss them. I really enjoy doing this. I, again, am a math person. I just really like being able to have this information to be able to give to you. I would think that this would be beneficial to me if I were a first-time home buyer just moving to another area, like, hey, this is how much of a house I can afford. And that's my goal, to be able to create content that's going to be beneficial for you. Until next time, take care and make it a great day.